Razorbacks have fought tonight. Wagner to the rim with a left hand, no good. Rebound. Jones, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. That's it. Heck of a game. Razorbacks gave the top-ranked team in the land all they wanted, but tonight it is Auburn who holds serve at home and defeats the Razorbacks by a final of 67-60.
Win the game. Win that game.
This is the Morning Rush.
For some of you, I feel like that you're wandering through the blizzard that the 101 Dalmatians did. This is the theme from that cartoon movie back in the day. I hadn't seen that in forever, but I was like, what is a wintry movie or scene that comes to mind? And it's when they're trying to rescue all the kiddos.
That's a good one. That's a good one to draw from the Rolodex. That's good.
Have you, Tommy, how long has it been since you've seen the cartoon version, not the awful live action versions, I should say, but when's the last time you've seen that movie?
40 years? I don't know.
It's been that long.
Maybe when my kids were little. I don't know.
I love that movie growing up. It's a dog, pro dog.
Yeah.
I know Phil's the pro cat version, or the pro cat host of these airwaves, but very much a pro dog.
Well,
team showed a little dog last night. I feel like you could take what I say after every game and have me say it for nearly 75% of SEC action this season, which is they played really good defense. They played really hard, but they can't shoot. 3 of 19 from the three-point line. Big Z was 0 of 10. John L. really couldn't shoot last night either. And I'm going to use a Rick Barnes phrase, talking about his own player, Chaz Lanier. He didn't do what he's getting paid to do. Unfortunately, John L. Davis is not doing what he's getting paid to do here, which is be that lethal shooter at Arkansas. And I'm not singling out John L. Think about the front court last night for Arkansas. I'll give you the stat. Jonas, Trev, Big Z, Tommy, they didn't have 0 points. They had -2 because Trevin tipped it in.
Yeah, you're right.
So that was your combined front court last night for Arkansas. And Janai Broome had a little less than what he's been averaging this season. He's a national player of the year in college basketball. He's unbelievable. Has a double-double. But you'll live with 7-15. You'll live with Auburn jacking the amount of, what were they, 4 of 24 from three-point line last night? You'll live with that. You force more turnovers from them. But the second chance points, I think it was 13 rebound differential, and your inability to make shots, which I've said over, you've said, Colton said, we've all said on ESPN Arkansas, it is the Achilles heel in this basketball team. You can't play college basketball in 2025. This is not the 80s and 90s. This is not the Knicks. This is not the Pistons. You can't play that style and win college basketball games in 2025 without the ability to shoot the basketball.
All right, that's where we begin. It's 9:03 this morning as we're bundled up and ready to talk about Arkansas and Auburn last night and the Razorbacks' loss on the road in the jungle last night. Brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custards, Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, 2 locations in Conway, JFK Boulevard in North Little Rock as well. You can download the Andy's app where you can find the Pick 6 or any of your favorite flavors. The Pick 6 is 6 of your favorite flavors you can mix and match, take home. It's the perfect game time treat. Be sure and order that in the Andy's app or walk up or drive through. They're ready to serve you at Andy's Frozen Custards, Conway, North Little Rock, and in Fort Smith.
Yeah, I can't sleep at night. I got the shakes.
Me too, Cal. Getting the entertainment value with him and Z after the game is pretty funny. Occasionally he says a funny thing in the media or two last night. But when you watch last night's game against the number 1 team in college basketball, that the 2 losses this season are to one of the better teams in the SEC, maybe the second best team in the SEC, the Florida Gators, and then a road loss to Cooper Flagg and Duke, who's the other National Player of the Year candidate. There's 2. It's him and Broome. It's not like I expected him to win that game, but Colton brought it up before we came on. You're up 1 with 3 minutes to go, and you're thinking, well, Auburn's the one that's getting tight. They're clinched up. They're missing shots, and you're just like, man, this is going to happen. Sure enough, they go on a run, and you had a couple sequences, like a couple that stood out to me last night. There was a sequence where Carter Knox stole a ball and then proceeded to pass it right back to the opposing team, to Auburn. There was that play where Trev accidentally ran into Billy when Billy had the rebound, and then it went out of bounds, and Auburn was able to get another possession. I mean, there were just little things last night. When you add them up, here and there, they ended up with a 7-point loss. And it's like I don't want to like praise a moral victory this morning, but I don't want to blast the guys because they gave it everything they had against the number one team in the country. But I'll go back to what you said yesterday. Now I'm worried, did they use enough in the tank from last night to not win on Saturday? Which a win last night would be more important than Saturday, but you can't let this loss become 2.
Nope.
And that's what you were really pushing yesterday.
Well, and Missouri did what I didn't think they would do last night, and that's went and beat Alabama last night.
Yep.
Didn't expect that. I thought both Auburn and Alabama would be flat, but good enough to win. What happened in the jungle is not what happened between the Tide and the Tigers last night. And, Auburn was there for the taking. You caught them at the right time. They're clearly the better team, but you had your moment. You had your chance. And I didn't realize it watching the game till I looked at the box score. All three of your big guys, like you said, that's such a huge point, didn't score. That didn't stand out during the game.
-2.
Well, that's not actually how you put it on the box score, but you're correct in that regard. You couldn't make a free throw. And the fact that Big Z was, 0 for 10 from behind the arc? Oh, yeah. I mean, it was, you just think about it, slight improvement. Get me to a C- in any of those categories, and you probably win the game.
Yeah, and it comes back. I mean, there's so many things you can point to.
They made their free throw. To start the game, we didn't make any. We're like 0 for...
Yeah, 7 of 14, 50%. Can't win on the road. The differential was 7 last night. Again, there's a couple things you can point to during the game. And one of the things I said when we talked about Big C and his outstanding 2 performances that he had back-to-back, 50-plus points, and you just wondered, could he keep this up? This, again, in my opinion, is the best front court in college basketball with Broome and Cardwell. They played forever together. Broome's unbelievable. I really like him. I just think he's a fun player to watch. He can do it all, really, for that basketball team. And that's maybe the toughest matchup Big Z will have to go up against all season. And what they did a lot of times, they put Thero on Broome, which is a much smaller side, so he didn't have to guard the National Player of the Year for the most part. But even with the open shots, and Cal made a point last night. He's right. They got open looks. Like, there were some shots they took that it was just like, what are you doing? Like, I'm just wanting to claw my eyes out during this game. It's like, why are you taking that poor of a shot? And then other times I'm jumping out of bed like, all right, here we go. And then it would just clang, miss. That Auburn rim might be the loudest rim in the SEC. And it didn't help that Arkansas was doing that multiple times last night during the game. And so now you sit here and you're 4-9 in SEC play with 5 games to go. We got the game behind us, right? And as you alluded to, I thought Bama would bounce back and beat Missouri. They didn't. And so now Missouri's coming here. You got the emotions of the 90 Final Four team coming in. Missouri's really hot, maybe the most underrated team in the Southeastern Conference. If you don't win this game, like, I'm not going to just completely rule out the NCAA tournament. I know some people want to, but man, your margin gets slim. What was it? One of the things you and I talked about before the show is ESPN did a great job of showing the graphics several times during the broadcast last night of, hey, if Arkansas wins, I think it was like 51% they jumped to make the tournament.
31% if it was where you were at going into the game.
Correct.
If you lost the game, you jumped up over 50%, like 52, 51, 52%. And then if you lost the game, you went from 31 to 29%.
Yeah, it was 2%.
So it wasn't a huge deal to lose that game, but it was a much bigger deal as far as percentage. And these were percentage chances of making the field. Right now, you're sitting about 30%. Sorry, well, 29% is exactly where you're at. So,
Eric in Booneville getting points.
Even though your net ranking went up.
Yes, it did. It went from 43 to 40. I got on the website this morning and saw that. I thought that was interesting. That's, again, the caliber of
That's
teams.
what happens when you play number one.
Yep. Eric Moodville, he's ticked about the free throws like a lot of us are. Arden Rogers texted in, yes, these guys have the Hogs to play against, and they've been there. What is he getting into? Something about the military or something. Jeez Louise. I read the first part of that. It made sense.
He left the voice text.
The last part of it.
So,
not so much.
Yeah. All right. More of your calls and texts. Download the Hit That Line Now app powered by Taco Bell. Whether you're craving something cheesy, saucy, or crunchy, Taco Bell has you covered. It's time now for your opening drive.
Tony, I don't like exclusion when it comes to sport. I want inclusion. And when you cut out fan bases, you cut out regions of the country, not just conferences, because you can absorb those teams under another umbrella. I get that. The USC and UCLA and Washington and Oregon can be in the Big Ten, and you sort of don't exclude. But you do exclude. You exclude rivalries. You eliminate them. You chop down when you do this. A big part of what college football really is, and I find it loathsome.
This is the opening drive presented by First Financial Mortgage in Fort Smith.
That's the voice of Mike Wilbon, which, in my opinion, I think a lot of you would agree that him and Kornheiser have made the best, longest-running television show on ESPN with Pardon the Interruption, PTI. 30 minutes, in and out, great programming. He's talking about the changes that are coming for the college football playoff. And recently, the Big Ten, Tony Petitti and Greg Sankey met. And I hadn't seen that. Ross Dellinger, I commend him. He does a great job covering this for Yahoo Sports. Love to read his stuff. Love to just keep up with him on social media. But here is one of the options that they've come up with for if the college football playoff moves toward the SEC gets 4 at-large bids. And there's some other implications for other conferences, but what we care about for the way outside possibility that Arkansas somehow, some way could potentially make it one day. We'll see. Basically, it's the top 6 teams will have an opportunity to make the 4 college football playoff bids for one option. So the top 2 teams will be playing the SEC championship. Then you'd have games in the SEC, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5. Now, in another scenario, listen to this. The SEC has thought about doing an 8-team option. 1 versus 8, 4 versus 5, 2 versus 7, and 3v6 to make the 4 teams for the SEC that would make the college football playoff.
Got to get away from conference champions, get the automatic 1 through 4 buys like we had this year. That's what's the number one thing that's got to be changed in this formula? To me, it's that. Because you can't take what could potentially be one of the better teams that just came up short in their conference or better than, a Power 4 conference champion or whatever and put them in there automatically. It's a little bit concerning about the formula when, 7 versus 8 this year as far as seedings. But I think a lot of us believe we're the 2 best teams play each other. The formula and how you go about it's got to have some overhaul.
And
got to.
And another thing Dellinger adds in his reporting is that there are some SEC presidents, athletic directors, and coaches, it's going to be more coaches than anything, that have been against a 9-game schedule. Well, this idea that's been presented, a couple different things, have maybe swayed some that have been against the 9-game schedule of the Southeastern Conference. I, for one, don't think Arkansas benefits from going to a 9-game schedule. I think it's going to happen at some point. They haven't done themselves any favor on scheduling, especially this year, where Sam's set to face his toughest schedule, I think, since he's gotten here in 2020. But this is, it sounds like, based on the readings, that this is eventually coming. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. Yeah. And Wilbon's going off on the idea that it's like secluding parts of college football, which to a certain degree it is, but coming back to where we always come from, it's like, do you want the best teams in, or do you want every part of the nation's landscape to be involved? And it's a push and pull to a certain thing, but I think more often than not, if you're being honest with yourself, and I know we've got majority Southern listening right now, but you want the best teams in college football. That being said, you have 2 Northern teams that won.
But why is college football more prominent and popular in the South? Because there isn't as much pro football, right? Mm-hmm. It's our ancestry. It's what we're tied to growing up. It's who our grandfathers rooted for, our fathers rooted for. There's something provoquial about rooting for your college, right? Is that the right word, Ty? I want to make sure I used it in the right context.
Don't ask me.
Why is pro football so dominant in the North?
Unprovoked.
Well, because look at the teams on maps. Where are the biggest cities? And this isn't an exclusive idea that this is, cut and dried, but there's 2 teams in New York. They're in Chicago. I mean, who's the college football team in Chicago? It's Notre Dame, right? They're not even in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's the issue really is the further north and the further east you go, pro football is far more dominant. And and you're not going to change that. No committee's going to change that. And his idea of, well, you got to be more inclusive and you're cutting out parts of the country. And, you could say the same thing to a degree about pro football, but their popularity is so large that even outside the biggest cities and, but is pro football as popular here or is college football more popular in our state?
Yeah, it's college football.
It's college football.
By the way, the Razorbacks, any idea where the Razorbacks ranked? Football Scoot did a report on this. Any idea where they ranked in terms of SEC schools nationally and then all in SEC schools and then nationally when it comes to television average viewership?
Oh, I'm going to guess they're somewhere just past the middle of the pack in the conference and somewhere around 20th nationally.
Yep, 26th nationally, 12th in the Southeastern Conference overall in television average viewership this season. All right, that is your opening drive this morning. Congratulations. Ethan Adamson is it just finished his 13th year at First Financial Mortgage. Ethan does a fantastic job. Cheers to many more years with him at First Financial Mortgage. I know that anytime I have a question, he's always willing to answer it. You can give him a call if you have any questions whatsoever. I know that this is a new year. Some of you are starting to see your tax returns, and that can help towards a down payment on a house. Give him a call at 479-782-9300 or go online to ffb1.com. That's Ethan Adamson, Emily, and his entire team at First Financial Mortgage. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
All right, tomorrow is a special day here on the Morning Rush at ESPN Arkansas. We'll be working closely with the Arkansas Children's Northwest Miracles and Magic Mediathon. That's all day tomorrow, our 9 a.m. hour. This time tomorrow will be our power hour. We will be telling you more throughout the morning about matching donations. So every dollar you donate in the 9 a.m. hour tomorrow will be doubled up. And Cox Media has offered that exclusive deal to our listeners. So appreciate that. Our coverage tomorrow, and it has been sponsored all month long, and our ability to tell you about it by Crabtree RV in Alma, by Schlotsky's, and we appreciate all the help that we've been given as well. I'm missing some. I don't have that note in front of me.
Heart to Heart Pregnancy Care Center, and then Heartland Honda.
Heartland Honda. Thank you. I didn't. I just kind of started talking, and I'm looking forward to this tomorrow. And we want to make a difference. They want to raise just over $200,000. Every dollar counts, and we're looking forward to a big day tomorrow here on the Morning Rush, Halftime, and Ruskin and Zach.
Arkansas gymnast Katie Ewald is also going to join us tomorrow, so we got a loaded Friday show. David in Fort Smith texting us saying Northwestern is Chicago. David, no, it's not.
They may be in Chicago.
That's like,
they may be there.
The best equivalent I could have for you is like saying NWAC is Fayetteville. It's not even close. Like
NWAC is Bentonville School.
Yes.
Yeah, that is the one they root for.
There are so many more Northwestern flags, bars, and insignias out there in Chicago than there is Northwestern. I think
more Notre Dame.
Yeah, no, what did I say?
You said more Northwestern.
More Notre Dame than there is Northwestern. I think you could legitimately ask some people that live in Chicago, hey, do you know where Northwestern is? And they wouldn't be able to tell you Evanston.
Sure.
I think it's Evanston, Illinois is where it's at. But yeah, it's not close in that situation. Back to the game last night. Did that change anything for you? We talked about the percentage. Yeah, it barely moved 2% in conjunction with ESPN and what Joe Lenardi thinks and everything else. A lot of it's going to hinge on what happens Saturday, like we talked about with the Missouri Tigers coming into town. This team, you don't know what to think because even if they make the tournament, let's just be honest with ourselves. Do you really think they have the ability to go on the run? Like, just be honest. Like, I want them to make their tournament just like you do. I want to go wherever the heck. I don't care if it's Dayton, Ohio. I don't care if it's Wichita, Kansas. There's several. By the way, the NCAA tournament, there's no close sites outside of Wichita to Fayetteville. None. You got to travel. You got to fly, drive, whatever, which is road tripping's fun. But if we're looking ahead, I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but I'm just being realistic. Does this team really, in your mind, do you think they can go on a run? Like, what has shown you? They have not gone on a 3-game winning streak since December. We thought they were going to do it the other night, just weren't able to. So that's kind of in the back of my head. Yes, I want them to make the tournament. I don't want them to go over in Cal's first year. But if we're being honest with ourselves, probably not going to happen. Am I wrong on that? Like, what have you seen that gives you, man, this team can make a run to the second weekend and more?
Well, let me just answer. Because of the way they played Auburn last night, because of the way they played Alabama a week ago, because of the way they play teams that Cal describes as Final Four teams.
But they still lost.
But you're not going to play those teams in Dayton. You're not going to play those teams in the first weekend. You're going to be playing teams that aren't as good as those temes you went toe-to-toe with in the last few minutes.
You know how we sometimes say the national champion is whoever wins the SEC tournament? We in baseball, we joke about that. I think you can make a case, and I think some have, that navigating through Bridgestone Arena and potentially winning that conference tournament championship might be more difficult than what you have to endure in the NCAA tournament. Just based on the back-to-back.
Yeah, but if you're one of the top 4 seeds, you're getting that bye. You got to play what, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
I haven't looked at. I know they have more games on Wednesday. I don't know if it's 4 or if they start Thursday or what. But either way, it's going to be difficult, nevertheless.
All right, racing for this weekend at Oaklawn has been moved around due to the weather. There will be racing on Monday, February the 24th. First post time is going to be 12:30, with one exception. The Rebel Stakes will now be on Sunday, and Sunday's card will be at 12 noon. Doors will open at 10:30. So first post time is at 12 noon on Sunday, and the Rebel Stakes will be later on that afternoon in the card. Download the Oaklawn Anywhere app. Don't miss all of the racing. The big stakes races all shifted back a day from the original schedule. Use the promo code RUSH25 when you download the Oaklawn Anywhere app for your $150 sign-up bonus with the Oaklawn Anywhere app from Oaklawn.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Ty, fortunately, has saved the world and not yet procreated.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Now, for a limited time, employee pricing is back at the #1 fifth wheel dealer in Arkansas, Wheels RV. That's right, employee pricing is back, and you pay what our employees pay on a huge selection of select new and used RVs, plus some 2025 models included. You'll find all your favorite brands, such as Grand Design, Brinkley, Forest River, Vibe, Novo, and Flagstaff. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty on every new RV sold. Employee pricing exclusively at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV, located 5 miles west of I-49 in Tawnytown. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
Folks, it's that time of year again.
Mom, what's he talking about?
Matt, I have no idea.
It's hoop time. It's baseball season.
And the Stadium Shop has everything you need.
Whether it's decorating your fan cave or getting something to wear for the game, we have what you need.
We even have Nike basketball jerseys, sideline apparel, even brands like Cutter and Buck and Champion.
Or how about something from Tommy Bahama or Coliseum for those Hawaiian shirt Sundays?
Guys, Nike baseball team hats and jerseys will get here about the 1st of February. Hey, Matt, do you know what's blue but doesn't weigh very much?
No, what?
Light blue.
Mom, please help.
Matt, there's no cure for a dad joke.
Folks, come by the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum-Walker Stadium, or shop us on them Insta WW book.
Dad, it's
Facebook.
the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479 Stadium. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes.
This is The Morning Rush.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're looking for the best used car your money can buy, check out our great selection of road-ready certified vehicles with warranty. If you're trading or selling your car, let us give you a free second opinion and leave with a check in your hand. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center. Plus, follow us on Facebook for special offers and fun contests. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Rachel's at Papa's right now. Rachel, what do you think?
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
You can check out their menu at papaspub.com. Cricket, how about you?
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Come on by and see us at Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A new era of chicken is here to stay, and it's not your parents' poultry. The Cantina Chicken menu from Taco Bell is slow roasted and perfectly seasoned. Take it tacoed up in a crispy white corn tortilla with cheese inside and out, or wrapped in a burrito with fresh purple cabbage and freshly prepared pico de gallo. However you like it, you'll never chicken the same way again. Get yours today at your nearest Taco Bell and join rewards to earn free food. Available at participating stores. Rewards points are earned on qualifying purchases. All items while supplies last. Subject to terms.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Courtside with Fort Smith Public Schools. Coaches take you inside on what's going on in Fort Smith sports.
I think the boys program, we definitely thrive off the energy and the emotion. I think as a coach, it's a big thing to kind of just help those guys rein that in, myself included. You know, there's times we have to take a step back, take a breath during a timeout, and just sit there and breathe.
New episode every week on the Hit That Line podcast network and on hitthatline.com. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hoghats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir. Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
We kind of quieted the crowd a little bit. That's why they're the number one team, and that's why we have the record we have. Because we had that against Alabama. We had it against A&M. I can go on and on and on, and we don't finish people off. That's what makes them the number one team in the country.
Kind of like me at a bar. Saturday night, close, sealing the deal, and come up short over and over and over again. Arkansas falls 67-60 to the Auburn Tigers last night, and Cal's getting them in situations. You think about, I mean, Tommy, how many shots do you think they missed last night that were just as blatantly wide open as a guy can be in a college basketball game? Like 15, and especially on the 3-point line where they go 3 for 19. I mean, Big Z's never going to play that bad again.
Well, let me give you what would be 7 good examples. That'd be at the free throw line. Can you get more wide open? Can you get more unguarded? And I understand you're not going to make them all, but 50% is not going to cut it. 7 of 14. What should that number be? It was 13 of 17 for Auburn last night. Not stellar, not bad, but 76%. But half of your deficit could have been made up at the free throw line. Realistically.
Well, you were talking about Hope earlier, about teams you played tough like Alabama and Auburn. That is the most efficient offensive team in college basketball, and you held them to 40% shooting. Now, was some of that a byproduct of them winning an emotional game against Alabama? Probably. But it's not just a one-off that this team's been playing great defense. They've been keeping teams, Florida, Alabama, not necessarily, but Florida, Auburn. There's several teams this season that you're looking at the scoreboard, and then you look at the season averages and totals, you're like, well, that's not normal. Arkansas's lost a good chunk of those games, but defensively, they're at least there, effort-wise. And you're just hoping something will flip and translate. And maybe it won't. Maybe it's just win, lose, lose, win, win, lose, lose. I mean, it's just, I don't know if they can string together, but we'll have to wait and see on that. You do have baseball this weekend. Dallas, Globe Life, I should say Arlington, because technically that's where it is. Dave Van Horn got a chance to talk with the media yesterday. Some kind of, again, you had 4-game series this last weekend against Washington State. Now you've got a 3-game series featuring Kansas State. I say series, not series. Kansas State, Michigan, and also TCU. Dave's kind of tinkering with the pitching and everything. Here's what he said about guys that will come out of the pen.
Probably see him more towards the back of the game, although, it depends on what we've done. You've got 2 guys that are pretty good back there right now, and then you throw in another one. So I really think it depends on what kind of the game tells us to do. Do we need to bring in one of these guys in the 5th, let them roll, until they hit a pitch count, or, if things are going well and then they get tight, do we just use them in the 8th and the 9th? So it's a good problem to have that we're going to have that option this weekend.
Dave's talking about Landon Bilecheese there, who was a starter against the Cougars, and since there's only 3 games, you're going to, unless something changes, go Gackle, go Root, and go Wood. That'll be the setup for the 3 games this weekend. So this is a different role than the Ohio State transfers used to. He talked about, hey, it doesn't really matter. I just want to play some baseball. But this is, I think, and they're going in 2026. I'm not going to say it's taken over Reunion Arena, but Tommy, you think about the elimination of the A&M game next year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is kind of the staple event in Dallas, Texas. You obviously, as an Arkansas fan, if you're in Texas, want more events there. But this is kind of like the creme de la event now, with not playing the game in Jerry World anymore.
The what event?
The creme de la creme.
Okay, all right.
Did I say that right?
I was just wondering. It had a little stumble in there. For Arkansas, I think having a connection to Dallas, having a connection to that metro, to that alumni base is important, but not as important as playing at home in football. So, I mean, but I think for the Dallas alumni, for the time of the year, who wants to come? I mean, hell, if you're in Fayetteville, you don't want to watch a baseball game outside right now. Going to Arlington is kind of a treat
you can
for this
stomach
weekend.
If you're in that situation.
And there's 56 regular season games. There's 30 some odd whatever home games. So it's a little different than when you have 12 total games in a season.
All right, go ahead, Colton.
There's also that exclusivity, Ty, because I'm not forking over $50 to pay for Flow Sports for just that weekend. So if you get to go watch the game, you're part of that elite club that gets to go down to Dallas and watch those games live in person. That's pretty cool. Most people would really enjoy that.
That's a good point. All right, that is your Hog Update this morning here on a Thursday, brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888 Sparky.
All right, Cecil's called in. He's got some thoughts on this game last night. Morning, Cecil.
Good morning. Good morning, guys. What's that blowing? Somebody blowing, driving. You said that as far as Arkansas getting to the tournament, and could they go far? Sure, they could go far. Man, we really got a decent team. I mean, actually, it depends on when you get to the tournament. It's like a new season, so it doesn't matter if you had the sorriest record in the tournament. If you get there, you can win. It just depends on matchups and depends on what bracket that you fall in. Because there's some teams, a lot of teams that lose and get upset by Cinderella teams that should have won the whole thing. So, I was watching that game and I'm like, wow, and then I'm like, well, Big Z got to stay in. He got to keep shooting. I would never think he would miss like that. But, a lot of the shots went in and rimmed out. And then, no one really played up to their expectations of what they could really do, because we missed free throws. And if we would have just hit our free throws, we would have won the game, man. And Bruce Pearl he was like under pressure, man. They kept throwing the camera on him and stuff, and I'm like, yeah. I said when we went up by 3, I'm thinking, yeah, we're gonna win this game. I really wasn't even pressured on us losing.
Yeah, Cecil, we're up against the clock. Appreciate the call.
Sweatyest coach in college basketball.
If you haven't downloaded the Bet Saracen app, get the lines there. Was shocked that the Hogs were 16 last night, getting 16. But, hey, if you had the Hogs and the points, you won big with Bet Saracen.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
You guys keep rocking. I love the show.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Now, for a limited time, employee pricing is back at the #1 fifth wheel dealer in Arkansas, Wheels RV. That's right, employee pricing is back, and you pay what our employees pay on a huge selection of select new and used RVs, plus some 2025 models included. You'll find all your favorite brands, such as Grand Design, Brinkley, Forest River, Vibe, Novo, and Flagstaff. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty on every new RV sold. Employee pricing exclusively at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV, located 5 miles west of I-49 in Tawnytown. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Listen up, crappie anglers. When it comes to crappie fishing, there's only one baby shad. The original baby shad, crappie fishing's #1 selling bait. Featuring a sleek back, streamlined belly, and quivering tail, that bait just won't stop moving, no matter the temps, no matter the conditions. Built for dead sticking and action-based techniques also, the original baby shad gets right to the point, catching slabs and filling freezers. Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leader in crappie fishing innovation.
Yeah, I can't sleep at night. I got the shakes.
This is The Morning Rush.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
The dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same.
If you enjoy it, enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
The dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to the NHL and UFC, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline. The game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Fan. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike
Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Eat Lux your way with the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. The $5 Classic box is iconic all over. The $7 Supreme box has your decadent favorites and then
Social Morning Rush Daily Question. All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Christian's Place in Lowell online at carpathsocial.com.
All right. We all saw the graphic. We've already discussed it. You had a 31% chance before the game last night. You lose the game, like a 29% chance. Not a lot shifted. But I think the reality is, with where your record's at now, I think with 5 games remaining in the regular season, a lot of us believe with the conference record at 4-9, you got to win 4 of your last 5. Let's boil it down. Is Arkansas going to make the tournament? I know we're all trying to come to a conclusion right now. But to get to 8 and 10, it's pretty simple. What has to happen?
I'm going to say no, so it happens.
All right.
No. So, by the way, my 8 and 10 or 10 and 8
we're trying
record.
to find a path. I don't see a path unless you beat Missouri.
Yeah.
Bart was making the case you got to beat Vanderbilt. I mean, I think his logic's sound. That if it comes down to it, and you're looking for one of the last spots out of the SEC, you want to have the edge over Vandy with head-to-head. That's sound logic. I think you've got to beat South Carolina. Is it more important to win at South Carolina and Vanderbilt than it is maybe to win at home against Mississippi State? I don't know. Maybe from a net ranking and metric standpoint, you could make that case. But I don't see any way you make the tournament. I'm not a believer in this 7 and 11 gets you in stuff. 8 and 10, I think, is as far as I'll go with it.
You got to include you got to include the SEC tournament.
I don't. But that's not your record. Your regular season record is 18 games. We'll get to the tournament and see what happens. You don't even know who you're going to play yet. You could play games and go backwards there. I mean, that's what you're not factoring in.
So you think
you could go play games, win, and go backwards.
And the matchup, I think, is
I think you got to be at 8 and 10, which the math's
what if you
pretty
get
clear.
bounced in the first round against one of those terrible teams you're talking about? You think you're socked in?
NIT.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, you could go 8 and 10 still not make the tournament. So even if we say you win 4 of the next 5, that's what I'm arguing. So you can't say, oh, you go 8 and 10, you're in. Well, it's not the case. But
I think if you go 8 and 10, you're not going to play one of those teams. You're not being one of those. I don't think those teams will survive to get to you. I don't know. We'll have to see how the brackets lay out, but it's kind of wadded up with Vanderbilt, Texas, Arkansas, all right there.
Remember, there's 4 games on Wednesday.
I know.
So you're going to be in one of those games. So yes, you would.
Okay, there's not the game. I thought there was games on Tuesday still. No,
there haven't been games on Tuesday. They're adding more games with this new 16 team. So you got 4 games. You'll be in that. Yeah. You'll be in one of those games. You'll play one of those crummy teams if you're 8 and 10. If you lose that game,
I don't know that lose. I don't know. I don't think so. I think we put way too much weight in one game like that. I think if you're 8 and 10 and you lose that game, I don't know. We're all guessing.
Mm-hmm.
I can say I know. Well, you don't know. You know, we don't know. But I like your chances sitting at home at 8 and 10, even with a loss to a crummy team in the first round. Now that hadn't happened yet.
Lenardi and Palm before they go to bed.
What would suck is to win that game against South Carolina or a Vandy wouldn't Vandy didn't. it would be South Carolina or LSU or Oklahoma, beat one of them teams, and then you still beat them, and then somehow it still doesn't work out. That would
Sean thinks
stink.
you have to win out. Sean thinks you got to go 9-9.
I don't think so.
I don't know if it's that equivalent. What do you think?
Do you think 7-11 will get you in?
No,
position?
I said if you do that, you got to win 2 tournament games. One of them's going to be a bad team, or mid, and then the Thursday game will be against the quad 1 opponent.
Back to the original question. We do what we do well. We wandered off. Is Arkansas going to make the tournament? We're sitting here February 20th, 9:44 a.m. Are they going to make the tournament? There's a 29% chance according to the analytics. Do they pull the right rabbit out of the hat with a 29% chance? I say no.
I say no too, Tommy.
3 no's. Oh, no. Oh, no. 3 no's.
Those two, Oklahoma and LSU are 2 big, huge black eyes on your resume right now. And you're already going to have broken ribs going through the title fight that is the SEC schedule all year long. So those 2 are going to really cost you. And then when you've had these chances in games like Alabama and A&M to boost yourself up in the rank, and in the net rankings, you have faltered. So you've had your chances, and now you have to basically say, we got to win 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5. Ty, you said it. This team hasn't won 3 straight since December. They have lost their chances, and now
where I'm at.
they are kind of just, their hands are tied.
Well,
we're asking them to do something they haven't done before.
Our listeners' reaction to our answers. That's just what we think. All right, that is your Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily Question, brought to you by Christian Olson, Nate Garahan, and their facility at Cart Pass Social, which is an awesome place to practice golf, have fun with friends, corporate events, professional grade in Northwest Arkansas. It's BYOB. Bring your food, bring your alcohol, have a good time at Cart Pass Social. 122 Grant Place in Lowell. Give them a call at 479-487-3622, or you can check them out online at cartpathsocial.com for the best indoor golf facility in Arkansas. All right.
Did one of you guys steal my pen? I walked out of the room during the break, or did I carry it off?
I think you brought it in there.
I carried it off. I've sometimes.
I haven't. I'm just.
Let me borrow your
I've
pen.
been just sitting in the chair.
Yeah, you stole it. Then he's got that guilty look in his eye. I can see it from over here.
My pens get stolen. I have like 7 in my box, and somehow after a month they always get taken, and I intentionally put them back in my box every time, and yet they still get taken. Luckily, we have a massive supply of them. All right, I want to do something. We don't do it all.
Dwindling quickly, though.
Yeah, we don't do it all the time, but I want to give credit to the Arkansas Athletics Department for the email that they sent out this week. We blast them when they tick us off and they're screwing you over, but we congratulate them and give them credit when they do stuff like this. So have you seen that email?
Well, which one are you referring to? I've received a couple different ones.
They're traveling around, not the renewal, not the renewal, where they're traveling across the state. So they're going to be, I guess, in Arlington this weekend.
Yeah.
They're going to be Hot Springs, Little Rock, Russellville, Fort Smith, Bentonville, Jonesboro, Fayetteville. And they are going to be talking to members of the Razorback Foundation, people that are interested in joining, people that just have questions about Budwalden Arena and the reseating and reparking plan. Interested in purchasing season tickets. I would advocate for more of this as much as you can. I realize that in the midst of seasons, it's hard, it's tough. But this is what needs to happen more, where it's not just the NWA sector. It's where you go across, you talk to people of all areas of this state, you get information. Don't just send out an email, hey, what do you think, feedback. Not that that's bad, but the in-person stuff always helps. For anyone that sells anything, your percentage goes exponentially up when you're in person talking to someone. And obviously they're trying to sell you basketball season tickets or whatever. But I just like when they go across, because I mean you've been a person that's been a little frustrated by the fact that the Razorback clubs are dwindling across the state.
I don't think you could ask for someone for as much as $40,000 or more for the top end. A lot of people that you're going to try to convince are people like me that are giving, $1,000, $1,500, maybe $2,000. And now I've got to figure out, how do I take that person, that season ticket holder, and get them to $5,000 or $10,000? And some of this is, I hate to say selling through fear, but when you show them the chart and, hey, I know it's not done. We're going to have to see how many people sign up, but your seats could go from here to way up here.
It is. I mean,
if you don't give this money.
You don't have to put an asterisk around it. That's exactly what it is happening in certain cases. There's no, you don't have to
selling through fear. And I hate that. But you know what? I want to know, because right now my giving's here. I'm willing to go here. If you squeeze me and you tell me really, and hey, if you don't do this, 2,000 more, 3,000 more, whatever, if you do that, you can end up here. I think that's what people want to know.
With the exception of football games in Little Rock, anytime the athletics department and its athletics program or administration travels for events or just meet and greets or stuff like that, it is good for the state. With that lone exception of playing football games in Little Rock, everything else is good. Basketball games, baseball games, softball games, stuff like this, it's good.
I hate that they've turned their back on the Razorback clubs. I hate the fact that they won't send coaches to speak to those groups of supporters. These same people you're going to go ask to give thousands more to keep their seats. They won't send Sam Pittman. They won't send John Calipari. They won't send Dave Van Horn. They won't send their coaches to these events. These groups of people that have for decades given tens of thousands of dollars annually to the program. That's one thing I wish they would change their policy on. These one, was it the one show or whatever, Razorback one show or
Road Show.
Razorback one show, they go 5 or 6, 10 towns around the state. That isn't cutting it. And now, you need those relationships to step up. I don't have a problem with the asking for more money. You can't have an $8 million a year coach and then expect your fans not to pay more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're a fan and you have tickets and you don't think it's going to cost you more for what's going on, then we're a bit naive. But
B said they're doing the Cousin Eddie approach.
Well, I mean, I like the idea that I could go to the one in Fort Smith is there. The foundation's so easy. If you're in Fayetteville, you can stop in. In Fort Smith, they got one. They're going to Arkadelphia. I looked at the list. They're going, like I said, all across the state.
Drink all of Scott's alcohol on court.
Well, you only get 30 minutes in these meetings. And it's at a hotel is where they're going to have it at. So, I think this is a really good idea to reach out and make it convenient for people. And when you're going to ask for a lot, you should look them in the eye.
So, in the timing of this, and I was talking to someone within the department. Timing of this we're never going to be great with the bad basketball team and everything else. And I say bad.
A bad basketball team. You nearly beat number one on the road last night.
On the brink of an NCAA tournament relative to our expectations, which was a surefire, no questions asked NCAA tournament team Cal year one. It's not how it's panning out. Don't know what's going to happen in years to come, but this is just the timing of everything. But again, blast them when we need to. In this case, I will commend them for doing what I think is...
Have you reserved your time to meet with them?
For season? I'm not buying season.
Well, you were a big North End Zone guy just a couple of years ago.
It got too expensive. It got way too expensive.
They priced you out.
They priced me out. So, it got way too expensive. It turns out all that food and alcohol
wasn't free.
It's not free.
Amazing.
They implement in the cost. It's wild how it took me a year and a half to figure that out.
I told you there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Yeah.
It may not cost you something, but it's definitely not free. Hey, the Inn at the Mill is the place we stay in Northwest Arkansas. I was looking forward to staying there tonight ahead of the Miracles of Magic Mediathon. We're going to be doing that in studio because of the weather this week. But, hey, be sure and make your reservations for the upcoming spring and baseball season, or maybe a spring break trip that's going to bring you to Northwest Arkansas, maybe a trip to Benton County to see everything that's going on there right now, or a trip to one of the squares. They've got Crystal Bridges is popular. It's close to everything when you stay at the Inn at the Mill. 479-443-1800 is their number. 443-1800 or online at inatthemill.com.
Now, for a limited time, employee pricing is back at the #1 fifth wheel dealer in Arkansas, Wheels RV. That's right, employee pricing is back, and you pay what our employees pay on a huge selection of select new and used RVs, plus some 2025 models included. You'll find all your favorite brands, such as Grand Design, Brinkley, Forest River, Vibe, Nobo, and Flagstaff. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty on every new RV sold. Employee pricing exclusively at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV, located 5 miles west of I-49 in Tawnytown. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
Folks, it's that time of year again.
Mom, what's he talking about?
Matt, I have no idea.
It's hoop time. It's baseball season.
And the Stadium Shop has everything you need.
Whether it's decorating your fan cave or getting something to wear for the game, we have what you need.
We even have Nike basketball jerseys, sideline apparel, even brands like Cutter and Buck and Champion.
Or how about something from Tommy Bahama or Coliseum for those Hawaiian shirt Sundays?
Guys, Nike baseball team hats and jerseys will get here about the 1st of February. Hey, Matt, do you know what's blue but doesn't weigh very much?
No, what?
Light blue.
Mom, please help.
Matt, there's no cure for a dad joke.
Folks, come by the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum-Walker Stadium, or shop us on them Insta WW book.
Dad, it's
Facebook.
the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're looking for the best used car your money can buy, check out our great selection of road-ready certified vehicles with warranty. If you're trading or selling your car, let us give you a free second opinion and leave with a check in your hand. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center. Plus, follow us on Facebook for special offers and fun contests. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Rachel's at Papa's right now. Rachel, what do you think?
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
You can check out their menu at papaspub.com. Cricket, how about you?
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Come on by and see us at Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith.
Here's some exciting news for golf enthusiasts. The Golf Nut is thrilled to announce new arrivals for 2025, including Callaway Elite Woods and Irons, the new generation Pro V1 and Pro V1X golf balls, as well as a full range of lab putters, including the latest OZ model. Schedule a lesson or fitting on one of our indoor simulators to elevate your game. Visit the Golf Nut at 5121 Towson Avenue and experience golfing greatness for over 30 years.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. you'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
Paid for by Steel Man Pills. 800-993-1327. 800-993-1327. 800-993-1327. That's 800-993-1327.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Bitterly cold temperatures back in place for today. A high in the lower 20s north, upper 20s south. Clear to partly cloudy sky tonight. An overnight low will drop down to near 5 north, low teens south, and highs close to the low to mid 30s on Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX, Paris Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your morning.
ESPN 95.3. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
Razorbacks have fought tonight. Wagner to the rim with a left hand, no good. Rebound. Jones, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. That's it. Heck of a game. Razorbacks gave the top-ranked team in the land all they wanted, but tonight it is Auburn who holds serve at home and defeats the Razorbacks by a final of 67-60.
Win the game. Win that game. This is the Morning Rush.
I got two bad things to start hour number 2. You know how you sometimes say good and bad news, and you're like, well, I'll take the bad news first or the good news first. Well, it's just two bad things. Number one, Tom's feeling a little under the weather, so he's not going to be with us this hour. Hopefully we'll get a chance to talk with him here soon, next week or so. Number two, Bobby Portis has been suspended 25 games by the NBA in something his agent detailed as a pain medication mix-up. Listen to this. This is from his agent, Mark Bartelstein of Priority Sports. Bobby unintentionally took a pain medication called Tramadol, thinking it was a pain medication called Toroidol. Toroidol is an approved medication. The Tramadol has apparently just been recently added to the banned substances list for the NBA. So Bobby has now been suspended, unfortunately, by 25 games. One of the best Razorbacks currently in the NBA, one of my favorite players, Little Rock kid, so I love the guy. And, yeah, he's been really good for them. He's averaged like 16 and 11 and 4 his last 5 games, and now the Bucks will have him for will not have him for the rest of the regular season, which is a big bummer.
Well, and, you know, I don't think we understand. I mean, my muscles ache a little bit today. I don't feel my best. You know, we just go to the cabinet and grab a little ibuprofen or grab a little something that we picked up at the pharmacy or a buddy gave us. We don't even think about it. But
a buddy gave you, huh?
You know, something make you feel a little better. But
that he just had left over from.
But if you're a pro athlete and you go through this testing, or you're a college athlete and go through it, you've got to know everything you possibly put in your body to make sure that, you know, when the tests are done, and I don't know how they go about it, but I bet they draw multiple blood samples and send them to separate labs and see if they get the same results, because they don't want situations like these to occur.
Yeah.
But just think about it from the standpoint of being in Bobby's shoes or any athlete's shoes. You have to watch everything you eat, everything you ingest, every supplement you take, all has to be on that approved list. And I don't know the details of this any more than what you just read, what we know publicly. But that stuff's not easy.
I take that hair supplement and then the biotin, which is just a natural thing. One's prescribed, one's not, and I wouldn't know. I don't even know what the prescription medication is called. So it's kind of a situation where you're going up and down the aisle, and I mean things look all the same. You've gone up and down the aisle, and there's certain doses. That look. I don't know. That's a tough situation. I hate it for Bobby. I love that kid. I say kid. We're about the same age, but Just bad news as we start at hour number 2 here on Thursday.
Well, I know we've all gotten just a slight bit of cabin fever. And if you're looking for something to do this weekend and get out and dine local with Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith, they're right next door to Sodi's. You're going to find one of the best menus you'll find anywhere. It's going to be like going to a big city. We're talking about Dallas earlier. You think about the restaurants there, or you go to, I don't know, Chicago or Atlanta, and you're going to find a menu at Uncorked and an atmosphere at Uncorked that's comparable to places you'd go in the big city. But it's right here in your own backyard on Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. Special ambiance that's unique to just Uncorked. I love going in about 4:30, 5 o'clock on a weekday afternoon, get up to the bar there, meet with some of my friends, maybe have a little brown water before you go home, maybe one of the beers that are on tap. You'll see behind Maggie there at the bar just, I don't know how many dozens of beers that are on tap there, but a number of them. You see the big selection of the bourbons and the whiskeys that they have, or if it's wine, nobody's got a better selection of wine than they have at Uncorked. Happy hour menus and always great charcuterie boards and appetizers. One of my favorites is the spicy meatballs, also the fried deviled eggs that you'll find at Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue. So make reservations to get out this weekend. Look at their brunches that they have also on Saturday mornings, and make your reservations at Uncorked at uncorkthefort.com. That's uncorkthefort.com. And be there this weekend at Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's in Fort Smith.
This hour of the Morning Rush is presented by Mach 1 Financial. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is a registered investment advisor located in Rogers, Arkansas. For full disclosures, visit mach-1financial.com/disclosures.
All right, so we've kicked around the game last night where Arkansas fall by 7 to the number 1 team in college basketball that has only 2 losses this season. They've been just dominant all year long. That's the overall number 1 seed in this upcoming NCAA tournament. They're led by the best player, I think, in college basketball, and I don't think there's much of a discussion outside of Cooper Flagg at Duke. So you're kind of like tossing and turning like Cal is when it comes to this team.
Yeah, I can't sleep at night. I got the shakes.
Because they show you that they can compete against the best teams in college basketball. But they haven't really won outside of Kentucky. And if you want to bring Michigan in, you could bring Michigan in that. But the top of the line, the alpha teams in college basketball are playing the SEC. And Arkansas has failed. I say failed. That's probably too harsh. They have not been able to beat Tennessee, Florida, Ole Miss, Missouri, Auburn, like the top tier of this league. You've been in some middle tier teams like Kentucky, beat some maybe bottom tier teams like Georgia, but when are you going to get that big dog win? Like top 5, top 4 team, maybe even top 3. Like that's in the final 5 games you've got Missouri. You can maybe put them in that category, but I know State's kind of played a little better as of late, Tommy, but I mean, Texas and South Carolina and Vanderbilt, I wouldn't lump in that list. So I just look at this team and I'm like, yeah, they're probably going to be in each of those games, but that doesn't, as we kind of pointed out, doesn't lead any of us to believe that they're going to make the NCAA tournament. And I hate having that.
If they'd won last night, are they a lock?
No. They're 51% according to Joe Lenari or whatever it was.
Far from a lock, right?
No, it's not. But your expectations are drastically changed if they go on the road because we see upsets night in, night out in this league that don't get followed up. Mid-tier teams beat top-tier teams, routinely in this league. It doesn't change the plane of their season. It changes the plane of their week. Mm-hmm.
What's to make us think because of Arkansas, if they had pulled off the upset last night? When they pulled off the upset against Kentucky, did it change the course of the season?
And to a certain degree, Texas. But they weren't able to string together that. And that it was tough because Alabama followed that game. And it's like.
It's the overreaction to one win or one loss.
So okay, then here's the question. What is the proper reaction? What is the proper reaction to a team busting its tail for 40 minutes last night, having a play here and there that cost them, the inability to make free throws, getting beat by 13 on the glass, giving up some second chance points, limiting Auburn, the best offensive team statistically in college football? Like, what is the proper reaction? to what we saw or heard from Chuck and Z last night?
That you're close, you're capable, but you're running out of time.
So where Brett Bielema's football team in
or Chad
2016.
Morris. I know you're better than Chad Morris, but the reality is, what are you, 2 players away from having a really good from going from good to great? I think you are a good basketball team. I think the one thing we all underestimated going into the year, all of us, you, me, all of us, how good this league was going to be.
Yeah, no one could have predicted.
No one thought that you would have 5 of the top 8 schools in the country in one league and all on your schedule. This is more brutal than football. It's as brutal as baseball as far as the difficulty of competition you play over the course of the 18 games. This is, truly a murderer's row.
Yeah, and Cal said,
and I don't think any of us predicted that. We haven't factored that completely into our expectations.
Yeah, Cal said just as much last night.
Anybody who watched that game says they just got to win some games. They're an NCAA tournament.
We're so close.
But we got to win games, see?
And again, they're in those games, but for the most part, with a 4-9 record, they're not winning those games. Technically, both of y'all's record could come to fruition if they win the next 5. They could go 9-9, which is what y'all predicted. Mine was mathematically eliminated.
But there's no reason to believe they're going to run the table at this point.
No.
But you need to win 4 of the next 5 to get to a point where I think you feel comfortable in this league. Where's the cutoff? Where's the cutoff in this league? Is it 12 teams?
Yeah, they're not going to.
Is it
shocked.
11 teams?
I'd be shocked if they get. Well, wait.
And
again,
then what's the record of that 11th team?
Well, you said, again, the cutoff, you have this thought in your head, well, this team's done what? Your cutoff theory is shot to where if a bunch of these mid-major, lower-seeded teams win their conference tournament.
A bunch isn't going to happen.
If you watch, a lot of times these 1 seeds don't make the turn or don't win their tournament.
When you say a bunch, what does a bunch mean?
I mean,
there's not that many of them to begin with.
If Arkansas is on the fringe of being
how many 2-bid, 3-bid leagues are out there beyond the obvious?
I couldn't.
Yeah, exactly. So
snap my fingers and tell you.
Exactly. So I mean, that's a longer shot than probably Arkansas winning 4 of the next 5. Question is, does the resume with a non-conference and their conference schedule hold up?
Matt says if you finish 12th in the league, he feels like you're in.
Matt may be right, but what's the record of the 12th team?
Where's Baldwin, Arkansas?
I do not know.
Matt, tell us where Baldwin is. Give us a lengthy description of where Baldwin, Arkansas is. Cause
lengthy.
It's by this city and by this landmark and this town and this county. I need county, city, landmark. And
you still won't know where it's at.
And I still probably won't know where it's at. But I'll get out old handy-dandy Google Maps, and we'll be good to go on that. The best when it comes to location, everything else. This was a text we got before the break from Mike, and I wanted to address this. This is not just about last night's game, but the overall really landscape of Arkansas athletics, the overview of Arkansas athletics. The university needs to come to the realization that the average fan that's that had tuned them in for a while is tuned out and tapped out. Why would I pay any more for the product that's being presented to me all the time? There's no hope that it will get better anytime soon. The only game going worth to see at the university is the Diamond Hawks. If you're going to include the 3 major sports, I think that's, again, the one that's going to give you the most return on investment because more often than not, Dave Van Horn and company win in Ball Walker Stadium. They're like the 743 winning percentage or whatever it was.
If Matt Baldwin's right, though, and 12 teams get in, you're 12th this morning in the SEC.
Yippee-ki-yay, baby.
You're tied for 12th with Georgia.
So, and that is, okay.
But I don't think they're just going to go 1 through 12 or something like that. Does your resume, I think it's a resume thing. It's kind of like the poll. The conference standings don't run just down the poll right now. So it's the entire body of work.
Mm-hmm. So on to Mike's text, back to again the more bird's eye view of what's going on with Arkansas athletics. We've talked about, let's say this team doesn't make the tournament. Let's say that me, Colton, Tommy are unfortunately right. This team does not pan out and make the NCAA tournament. We talk about the pressure it puts on Dave Van Horn in baseball, which is not fair. It's just what happens this time of year. And they flame out like they have the last 2 years in the regional. And you have a athletics department that has nothing to hold its shoulders on. Like you can't, as the athletics director, say and boast about a good softball program, a good soccer program. It's just not going to work, right? You had a football team that went 7-6, mediocre at best. Basketball team that had higher expectations that they could potentially play out in baseball. And again, these are just scenarios at this point. I think Mike's point is like things have changed drastically in college athletics. And I think he just wants to know, are we ever going to be, as a state, feel like that this athletics program is going to be back to where they've been? Now, basketball is a lot, basketball and baseball. Baseball went to the College World Series in 2022. It's not far off. They could easily turn around this year and go back. Basketball, we'll have to wait and see on Cal. Again, last 4 years, one NCAA tournament win, one. Hopefully they get more than that this year. We'll have to wait and see. Football, just hovering around 500 the last couple years. Fans don't have anything to, like, especially the last 2 years, be like, man, I'm proud of us for this. I'm so proud to be a Razorback fan right now. And that's why, like,
so
people
you think
are
that's the
ticked
difference?
off.
They're going to open their pocketbooks all of a sudden?
I think that
so far
for Mike and others, like 2021, you think about how praised Hunter was. You had a number one baseball team in the country. Your basketball team went to its first Elite Eight since 1995, and the football team won 9 games. And I've said this, they failed to capitalize on that momentum with NIL. They weren't organized, or they didn't, whoever's in charge, whatever, they didn't do that. So now they're suffering because the Athletics are not good relative to what they were that specific year, all three combined. So Mike's, like a lot of fans, they're ticked off. And we do this, we have to watch them every day and every week because it's our job. We can't get on air and be like, man, how about that game last night that we didn't watch, whatever. We are subject, we have to do it, right? So Mike's in, and he's not the only one that feels that way. And you had a basketball program that you were just like, man, no doubt, we got Cal, we're tourney bound, y'all can kiss my you-know-what. And now it's looking, it's at least a possibility, maybe a probability that they're not going to even, that's not even a sure thing anymore.
Well, so you're only wanting the sure thing.
It's not
trying to figure out where you're going here.
It's not the sure thing. I'm just pointing out why people like Mike are angry with the state of Arkansas athletics right now, and rightfully so.
Well, people only get mad in life when they don't get what they expect. I mean, when else do you get mad? You get mad when your expectations are met? Of course not. It's when you expect one thing, reasonably or unreasonably, but then the result is something far different.
So if this plays out and
sometimes what you expected wasn't reasonable to begin with. Now, what you're proposing here, I think, is reasonable. It was reasonable to think that this basketball program should have been a tournament team this year, regardless of the difficulty of this league. We pound and preach on the pulpit that NIL, we got to raise money, more money, more money, more money. Money will equal wins. That's the perception in sports right now. Right or wrong. Money equals wins. And I don't think that's accurate. And here's an example. All the reports, nobody refutes the fact that Arkansas spends more on its roster this year in basketball than anyone else in the country.
Yeah.
Anyone disputing that report? No. And it hasn't equaled wins. Expectation was, we spent $10 million. We didn't have you got a mouse in your pocket. We didn't spend anything. You know, the big wheels did.
We contributed what? We contributed what, $750 for NIL?
So, in the end, we all had these lofty expectations of Final Fours, national, and I think that's reasonable to have that because you spent the money. That's why people like Mike that you reference are so dadgum angry.
Did Madden Baldwin give us an update of where?
Well, it's between Elkins. It's out on Highway 16.
Okay. So northwest
between
Arkansas.
Fayetteville and Elkins.
Okay.
I normally turn at crossover and go up to crossover Mission there, and never quite make it out to Elkins.
Now I know the Baldwin.
I'm going
Arkansas.
to Harrison or going, trying to get to 45 and cut out to 412.
I know where Baldwin, Arkansas is.
But you could take your motorcycle and go out towards Baldwin, and I think eventually you'll get to Crosses and Elkins and that direction. And I hear it's a beautiful drive.
Are you gonna make it anytime soon?
I've never been there that way, but I have went to Huntsville that way.
How do you think the
time or
drive's
two.
going to go up to NWA across, or whether you're coming down from North Central Arkansas, up from Central Arkansas, River Valley, or whatever? I mean, the roads aren't great right now.
Well, roads are fine. What do you mean the roads aren't great?
For Saturday's game in Fayetteville? Roads aren't great in Fayetteville.
They'll be. I mean, we got sunshine. They're gonna be fine.
Did you see the weather in Fayetteville today?
I'm looking out the window. I see sunshine. It'll be fine.
It's a high of 19 in Fayetteville.
Well, it didn't get very warm yesterday, Ty, and it all melted off the roads. It's called sun. It'll be fine.
All right, we'll see. It's a high of 31 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Saturday it'll
fine.
be better at 43.
Roads will be fine. I mean, the roads are fine. It
You're
hadn't
more
gotten warm
confident.
where you're at.
You're
the roads
more
are
confident
fine.
than I am. Got warm yesterday. I mean,
As long as it's sunny, it'll be fine.
all right.
Is that what happened yesterday?
You're more confident than I am.
Well, what happened yesterday where you live? Did it get warm yesterday? No.
I've
The
just
sun
seen. I've just seen pictures, and it looks a lot worse in across Northwest Arkansas.
Oh, it
than
was.
does-
They did get a lot more up there, but it'll be fine to get there. Hey, this hour brought to you by our friends at Mach 1 Financial. You know, market turbulence has been something we've all kept an eye on, and nonstop headlines can make investing feel like an emotional roller coaster. That's why Mach 1 Financial Group presents The Market Moment, a weekly podcast with clear insights on the latest financial news and what really matters for investors right now. How can today's events impact your portfolio? They bring it all together and break it down for you where you can make an informed decision with confidence with your finances. So tune in every Tuesday for a fresh episode or visit market-moment.com to catch up anytime. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is a registered investment advisor. They're located in Rogers, Arkansas. For full disclosures, visit disclosures.mach1fg.com.
Are we watching United States Canada tonight, 7:00, ESPN?
more
I guess this
interested.
is in Boston tonight, and the other first game was in Montreal. Do you think the U.S. fans in attendance booed the Canadian national anthem?
Maybe I'm
like they
crazy.
did?
I still have a hard time following the puck. Maybe it takes. Does
Look
it
at
take
you
a
saying
trained
puck.
eye?
Oh, I was thinking you were like generalizing, saying puck as in like the NHL season and like.
No, I can't follow. Like when I watch hockey.
Did you think he was doing that too cold?
No, I did
Okay.
not. That's
You thought I was being literal, right?
I thought
I
you
did. I took
okay,
you literally.
Go ahead.
yes.
I have a
Sorry.
hard time. I would love. I want to go to a hockey game. I know you lived in Nashville and went. I want to go to a hockey game and understand. It's a sport I'd love to understand.
they
I have
are
a
a
very
lot of
hard
fun.
time watching it on TV because the football, the basketball, even a baseball is easy to follow for whatever reason.
Puck stuff on you.
And I know I've got keen eyesight because I'm an official.
Do
so.
you want him to not digitize it?
Remember when they had
tech-
the halo around it?
Yeah.
used
Do
to
you
put the
want
halo?
to tech it up
I guess.
just to help you out?
Do you not have trouble following the puck? It moves so fast.
I really don't.
All right. Well,
But
I do.
yeah, I will. I mean, when I get your age, I will, and I'll have to wear glasses. And,
I don't know if you'll
and-
live that
and,
long.
and stuff. Probably won't. The weekend alcoholism is probably going to push me over the edge. But yeah, that is not something I've ever had to do. I'll to your point about the hockey games though. Hockey games are it's like an SEC atmosphere, and there's fighting and it's encouraged. It's just it's a really
Well, the political overtones right now between the U.S. and Canada just makes this even better. So
them going back and forth. It's interesting. I'm gonna be honest.
pipe down, 051. Pipe down over there.
I'm gonna go back. I am gonna plan on watching some of this tonight, and I don't know if I've watched anything. I went to a game. I guess it was back in November. That sounds right. Maybe it was less than that, but this is something I'm intrigued by to at least watching. And I don't know
Lost
the last
track
time
of your schedule.
I've watched. I don't know the last time that I've watched a hockey game actually on television.
Hey, tonight or anytime you can get by and see Joe's Grill and Cantina. They're making fresh salsa right now. They do it every day with fresh veggies, even carrots that go in the salsa. That's one reason it's always so fresh when you get to Joe's. Fresh chips made every day, and I love their chips, Ty, because they're thin and they're crispy, and you put a little salt on. I'm a salt guy. You bring the chips and the salsa out.
I don't salt your chips, Wade Morgan. They come great how they are. It's disrespectful.
Sorry, I need more salt. You salt them babies. I even salt the salsa a little bit, and away we go. And the enchiladas there are my favorite. Now, the fajitas are good. The voodoo enchiladas are great. I mean, the tacos anytime, but particularly on Tuesdays, are a great value. But
fajita burrito.
Cheese enchiladas with their brown enchilada sauce is like my favorite meal. Now, their sides, they got the rice and the beans like you'd expect, and their rice is incredible. But they also have the grilled vegetables, and they do like zucchini and squash and the onions, and it is really good. So get by and see your locally owned Joe's Grill and Cantina. All the stuff that they serve you is made fresh daily, and it's the best Tex-Mex around, even better service. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
All right, so we mentioned Arkansas several times this morning, falls to Auburn last night. What else happened in the Southeastern Conference? What's going on in terms of football-wise and maybe some changes in the college football playoff? We'll tell you next on the Morning Rush.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
It does my heart good when Texas football, Texas basketball, and Texas baseball suck.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Now, for a limited time, employee pricing is back at the #1 fifth wheel dealer in Arkansas, Wheels RV. That's right, employee pricing is back, and you pay what our employees pay on a huge selection of select new and used RVs, plus some 2025 models included. You'll find all your favorite brands, such as Grand Design, Brinkley, Forest River, Vibe, Novo, and Flagstaff. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty on every new RV sold. Employee pricing exclusively at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV, located 5 miles west of I-49 in Tawnytown. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi, golf's newest league. It's sharp and it's electric. How is it sharp? How is it electric? Good questions. Try this on for size. 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime, forcing, playoffs on the line, golf. With 24 of the best players from the PGA Tour, split into 6 teams: Atlanta, Boston, Jupiter, LA, New York, and the Bay. This isn't your average Sunday pickup game. Tune in every week for TGL matches, only on ESPN. Keep up. It's golf.
This is the Morning Rush.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing on all 2024 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers. This is a limited time offer. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
At Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC, we dial 782-8940.
This is Joe Calderera with Taliano's Restaurant. We call 782-8940.
Keep warm this winter with a York high-efficiency furnace. Or for more information on endless hot water and a high-efficiency tankless water heater, give Blaylock Heating, Air, and Plumbing Services a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
Listen, I'm telling you the truth. I think it's a great city. I think they got the best organization in the NBA, but they do have some big old women. I mean,
happy 62nd birthday to Auburn alum and NBA legend Charles Barkley here during our SEC update. I don't know if there's a person in sports on this planet that has more sound bites than Chuck. He is of anyone that I have ever watched or listened to, I think he's the most enjoyable to me because he just sounds like he's always having fun in what he does.
Sounds to me like he doesn't give a bleep.
That too. He's at a stage in his life.
Which makes you more fun.
Yes.
Remove the filter.
At 62 years
old.
old.
To a degree.
Where he just does not care at all. Well, Nate Oates cared last night about how his team was playing and was not a fan of the officiating. Ended up breaking his clipboard and got a technical last night.
Well, I've been frustrated by the Cedars call, right? Now, if you're frustrated, there's the move. It's going to warrant a technical, but he didn't want it to be worse.
Alabama falls to Missouri. Listen, they gave up 110 last night, 110-98 in Columbia as the Tigers take down the Crimson Tide. They'll, of course, take on your Arkansas Razorbacks at 7 o'clock this Saturday. Auburn beats Arkansas 67-60. Better game. If you bet on Arkansas like we were talking about, Tommy, you covered.
That's, hindsight's 20/20 when it comes to these things, but man, when we were talking yesterday with Bet Saracen, it was 16 points. Man, that seemed like an unwind the rubber band moment when you added it all up.
Yeah. And now we regret.
Now, honestly, that game could have gotten away from it, but with 3 minutes to go, you could have lit the cigar on that baby last night.
Listen to this stat. Auburn never led by double digits last night. Not 1 second. No. And I think it was like 6:23 in the first half where you had a lead that was relinquished. And then you didn't get a lead till like 3 minutes to go, like you were talking about before we came on, Colton. Of course, you gave it up down the stretch with that run they went on. What was that run they went on? It's like 10-2 run. Final 2 minutes and 41 seconds. But, yeah, they competed. Just came up short last night. Last thing here in your SEC update, Football Scoop put out reports of, hey, what is the average college football viewership for each SEC school? Arkansas checks in at 12th in the conference and 26th overall. So it's like we always talk about in recruiting. It's like, man, 26 nationally, that's pretty good. Then you look on the SEC and you're like, well, reality is it's not that good.
Bottom third.
Bottom third. Yeah. And
that's just part of it's the state you live in.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the whole ranking there in front of you, or just our?
Georgia's at 1, surprisingly over Bama.
Who's last?
Vanderbilt. Less than 500,000 people on average view their games.
And they had their best football season in a while.
Under Clark Lee.
And they are out of Nashville.
And that's kind of like the North. Well, I'll say this.
Nashville's a very nomadic city.
They have done a good job. I'll give Vanderbilt's social credit. Like, they've gotten some country artists to jump on board their basketball and football team. I've had a great baseball program under Corbin for a while. But it's kind of like Northwestern. Like we were talking about, Northwestern's located basically in Chicago and Evanston, but that's a Notre Dame college town. And in Nashville, it's more of an SEC melting pot than it is a Vanderbilt town. Yep. And it's not close, to be honest.
All right, that's your SEC updates brought to you by Jackie and the team at Mock Legal Solutions. 479-769-1505 is their number. They have 2 locations. Now in Sallisaw, Oklahoma, in addition to the location in Fort Smith. Jackie wants to make sure that all of our friends that are in Sequoia and LaFleur County have convenient and easy representation right there near the courthouse in Sallisaw. So not only do they handle all family law matters, but Jackie has 13 years in car wrecks, slips and falls, and all kinds of cases, including dog bite cases that can help you get your insurance check in some cases, or get the situation righted, or get your wreck check as well. So if you find yourself in one of those situations, Jackie's there for you. And when it comes to family law, the laws have changed, and joint custody is now the default. But you are not afraid to go to trial, and you're successful when you do now with Mock Legal Solutions. Call for a consultation. They make it easy with the understanding that, hey, not everybody can write a $5,000 check for a retainer. They get it. That's why they make easy, affordable down payments, flat fees that you know exactly what it's going to cost you, and they've got payment plans that make it convenient for you as well. 479-769-1505, 769-1505, or mocklegalsolutions.com.
Mentioned Nashville there. Dallas, Arlington this weekend for Globe Life and that baseball classic where Arkansas, Kansas State, Michigan, TCU, some of the matchups. Reunion Arena basketball back in the day. Tommy, when you think about towns outside of Arkansas that are Razorback-centric to a certain degree or just fun to be at, the ones I put out, you tell me what you think is the best one. Like outside of the state, the best Arkansas city outside of the state. I had down Dallas, Memphis, Kansas City, Tulsa, Omaha, and Nashville.
Where you think we have the best representation?
The best representation's in Dallas.
Well, Dallas is number one because you had Reunion Arena for so many years. I mean, it depends on what your criteria is. But there's more alumni and more representation in Dallas than any place outside our state.
My criteria is like, what's your favorite Arkansas city to watch a sporting event that is the Razorbacks outside of Arkansas?
Dallas would be one probably for me just because of location and familiarity with the town would be Tulsa. You know, I go to Tulsa probably more than any of the cities you listed on that list.
Tulsa's, I mean, I didn't realize until I've started going there and seeing my cousins and brother-in-law and sister-in-law or sister and a little bit more. And that is of course there's Sooners and there's Cowboys, but there are a lot of Razorback fans in that situation. I just think it's cool anytime that you get a chance to, like, people that live in these cities and they have Razorback events that come to them. It's always something they look forward to each and every year. And there's a lot of Arkansas fans that even if Arkansas didn't make it to Omaha, I say a lot. There's some Arkansas fans that will travel to Omaha just to take in the College World Series and that setup and everything else. Back to last night. Arkansas falls by 7. Cal has touched on a bunch of things. I know frustration set in for you watching Big Z go 0 for 10, but Cal was still believing. I'm like, he still diagrammed that play at the end to get him open, or a couple plays down the stretch, I should say. Here's what he said in just regards to Zavandemir's off night.
Now, I have enough faith in him that I kept running stuff for him, and he was wide open, and you all thought it was going in. I did too. There was only one person in the building that didn't think it was going in, him. The last one on the step back, he didn't need to just throw an air ball. We had plenty of time. Go get a 2. It's a 5-point game. A 3 doesn't do that much for us, but that's all right.
I don't know how he handles bad games and stuff. He hadn't played great at points this season. Like early on, he was injured, and it wasn't just performance, but that was his worst performance as a Razorback, right? I don't think there's any question about that. He had a couple blocks. Like, he was still playing defense. That's the thing about it. If you look at what he was doing, John L. Davis was doing, like those two guys in particular who didn't shoot the ball well last night, like they were still getting rebounds and steals. Arkansas finished with 10 steals last night, just couldn't throw in the ocean. Kind of to your point about, hey, did they use everything they had to get a win and lose last night, and how that has affected them on Saturday? What I'm hoping doesn't happen is that poor performance he had last night affect him for this game on Saturday. Because if he plays similar like that, they're not beating Missouri at home in 2 days. It's not going to happen.
Anything to be proud of last night? I mean, we've kind of hammered down on that. You know,
they were resilient. They
back,
fought.
Defense, for sure.
Your defense, again, it's the same rhetoric that we keep talking about this basketball team. They're tough. They're gritty. They try hard. They just can't shoot basketball. Like John L. Davis, if he was even like partially a little bit better, I'm not talking about maybe the Final Four guard that you expected him to be, but if he was even a little better shooting the basketball, then they pick off at least 2 of these games. And I'm not putting it all on the feet of him. There's plenty of other guys, like, again, front court last night, -2. Jonas, 0 points. Trevin, 0 points. Big Z, 0 points. Trevin had the tip in for Auburn, -2, points-wise. So there's plenty of blame to go around. But, like, you bring in a guy with the sole purpose, and I say sole purpose, you bring in the guy with his main purpose to be able to stretch the floor and get you points and get you buckets and be that just dead-eye shooter. Your best shooter is a 7'2" guy. And that like, there's not another team in college basketball that can say that. And honestly, the guys that have been kind of, snapping in, let's go, are your 2 freshmen, and Billy and Carter. You're just kind of like, you're bewildered, and you're just looking at this team as a Razorback fan. It's like, man, defense, they're locking in, and then offense, it's just like watching this, like a teacher scratch their nails across the chalkboard back in the day.
Morning Rush brought to you by APAC and Standard Materials Group. They are your #1 source for top-quality aggregates, asphalt, and ready-mix concrete. And, hey, whether you're looking for a small residential project, someone to help you get the concrete and the ready-mix there, they can do that, or a large industrial commercial job like, I don't know, say the Walmart home office you're building. They've worked many hours and brought many tons of material out there as well. So APAC's got you covered no matter how big or small the job is. And if you need an expert to help you along the way, they have their construction consultant services that will ensure that you stay on the right track. 479-587-3300 is their number. 587-3300. Whether it's rock, asphalt, or ready-mix concrete, APAC and Standard Materials Group is there for you. 587-3300.
Here's the other thing that concerns me about this basketball team before we need to hit a break. Jay Williams was touching on this several times last night. Is these situations where they didn't get back on transition defense, where the Tigers took advantage of them, and it wasn't a lot, but there were some sequences. It's like you just didn't get back to
wide open dunks underneath the basket,
and the second chance points that, let's see, Danny Mount Ida points out. Those are effort plays. Now
16-3 was the difference on those.
Yeah, the exception to the rule was like the Trevin Billy play where Trevin actually ran in, the ball goes out of bounds, and they got another possession out of that. But there was, again, a handful of times where Auburn just outworked them, outmuscled them, out-tried them. And the reason I bring these situations up, the transition defense and that, is because I wonder, it's like, okay, this 8-man rotation. I understand you play 8 guys down the stretch of the SEC tournament, NCAA tournament late in the season, but you play 10, 11, 12 guys leading up to the end of the season. You don't just play 8 or 9 guys the entire way. But this is the way, this is the route that Cal has elected to go. And so I'm thinking, is last night an example of what's to come, where they're still trying really hard in effort, but they just don't have enough gas? Or is that just a one-off? Is that an anomaly? We're going to find out on Saturday against a hot team in the Missouri Tigers that are coming into your building. Of course, the 1994 team's getting honored, Final Four team getting honored that night at half. But, like, are we going to see, I'm not saying they didn't play with effort, but in this league, especially when you're against the #1 team in the country, not only do you have to play out of your minds, but you have to give more effort than they did. And I felt like there were situations last night that they just didn't. I don't know if they didn't have in the tank or what, but that concerns me a little bit if I'm an Arkansas basketball fan this morning.
Despite all those things, you still had a chance at the end with the number one team of the country in their building. Hey, we're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. 870-431-5202 is their number. I love going to Gaston's because I know I'm going to get paired up with a great guide. Every time I get in the boat with anyone on their staff, I know I'm going to be taken care of, treating well. My guests that are with me or my family that are with me are going to be treated with a lot of attention and care and respect. And that's the first thing. I'm there for the fishing. Everything else is great. My wife's there to build a fire and look out the window and have a few good meals. I'm there to fish. And that's the cool thing about Gaston's. Everyone in the house can find something they love to do. So if it's read a book, sit by the fire, and look at the river, well, you can check that box. If it's me, it's, hey, I want a good fire and I want a good meal, but by golly, I want to go catch a trophy brown or rainbow or have a shot at one. Well, I can check that box. And if there's something that you need for the kids, whether it's just room to roam around. It's the pool in the summertime. It's the fitness center, the nature trails. They've got all of that. And, of course, you can all gather together around a great table at their restaurant overlooking the White River at the end of the day. What I love about Gaston's, there's something for everyone. Ask about winter rates for a little while longer. 870-431-5202 is their number. That's 870-431-5202. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class every time.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Hi, you're one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the broadcasting industry. You really do your homework.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
What's better than getting something for free? Winning. And with the $5 bundle from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, you get the chance to do both. For $5, you get 3 tickets, a Powerball ticket with Power Play, a Mega Millions ticket, and a free Natural State Jackpot ticket. That's 3 ways to win. So ask for the $5 bundle today. Bundle is eligible with Quick Picks only. Offer ends February 28th. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Now, for a limited time, employee pricing is back at the #1 fifth wheel dealer in Arkansas, Wheels RV. That's right, employee pricing is back, and you pay what our employees pay on a huge selection of select new and used RVs, plus some 2025 models included. You'll find all your favorite brands, such as Grand Design, Brinkley, Forest River, Vibe, Nobo, and Flagstaff. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty on every new RV sold. Employee pricing exclusively at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV, located 5 miles west of I-49 in Tawnytown. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
He never had a hog on his helmet. This is The Morning Rush.
Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing on all 2024 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers. This is a limited time offer. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Chevrolet Buick GMC. We dial 782-8940.
This is Joe Calderera with Taliano's Restaurant. We call 782-8940.
Keep warm this winter with a York high-efficiency furnace. Or for more information on endless hot water and a high-efficiency tankless water heater, give Blaylock Heating, Air, and Plumbing Services a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing and consistently light. You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you stuck in a paper jam of printer prices? Paper cuts from budget cuts? Don't throw in the towel. Call Dixie Digital Imaging and dive into our new and used inventory blowout. We're slashing prices on top-of-the-line Xerox, Brother, and Epson printers and multifunction devices. Gently used or brand new models that are tired of being in our warehouse. Don't miss out on these deals. Call 479-783-6600 for more details. Quantities and availability are limited. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics, now 17 years in the industry. Cecil, this is the one-stop shop.
Yes, Jazzco Graphics Design, the one-stop shop, 2415 Midland, for your customer buck order.
Why ESPN 95.3?
I really enjoy listening in, and it keeps my day going while I'm at work. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
So we were telling a story about Howie Roseman earlier this week.
I bleed for this city! Go Eagles!
The Eagles general manager, and evidently he has trademarked that phrase with the idea about selling a new clothing line with, again,
I bleed for this city! Go Eagles!
After taking a beer to the forehead and leaving a giant gash. So congratulations to a rich man that just got richer and whose team just won the Super Bowl.
And way to go by bleeding for your city.
Bleed for the city,
best
man.
Beer you ever had right there, buddy.
I'd take a beer to the head for Arkansas to make the, not to say if they make the Sweet 16 that someone just.
I bleed for this state. Would that be your phrase?
Let's just, I don't have to have a phrase. Let's go on a run, boys. 5 games to go. Prove Tommy, Colton, and myself wrong that you're going to make the NCAA tournament here down the stretch.
Hey, if you're looking for a way to get your favorite fishing lures from Pradco at the click of a button, we've got it for you. LureNet.com is not only the place with all the brands you like Rebel, Yum, Booyah, and more, but it's also the site where you'll find exclusive deals and baits you won't find anywhere else for your favorite brands. They have free shipping on all U.S. orders over $35, so be sure to treat your favorite fishing buddy or yourself to some new tackle box treasures at LureNet.com. That's LureNet.com.
Congratulations are in order for Colton Little. So the NFL raised its salary cap by $22 million. Our radio station has raised our salary cap as well. Colton, you're getting a raise after the show.
That's
Congratulations.
what I'm talking about.
Double the money. Double the money.
Double the money?
Congratulations.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know how like percentage-wise, what does the radio raising the salary cap look like the NFL? It's $22 million versus
It's all relative.
$5.
Yeah, it's all relative.
Little difference in everything else.
It's all scaled out.
As best we can do.
Still working with the union for collective bargaining.
By the way, speaking of money, Tom Brady gave his son a $3 million watch. Kid's 15.
You know why he did?
It's sponsored?
Because he can.
Yeah. Like imagine walking up to Dylan's room and say, son, come here. I want you to have this. The kid looks at it, And he's like, I don't really wear watches. And it's like, well, it's $3 million.
It's a lame gift. That's a lame gift. At 15, I wouldn't want to watch.
I don't wear watches. Do you wear a watch?
I wear an Apple Watch.
Okay,
I count my steps.
I can't do that. I have my BZ wristband, and I've never been a watch guy. That's what the phone's for.
All right, tomorrow a lot of things coming up, including the Fenceman Friday picks. We'll do that to start the show out in the 9 o'clock hour. We'll pick college basketball for the weekend coming up. 782-3936 is the number. 479-782-3936 for the Fenceman. And tomorrow is the Miracles and Magic Radiothon, Mediathon. It's a Radiothon. We're going to have our Power Hour, where we will double donations between 9 and 10 o'clock tomorrow. Be here at 9 a.m. for all the details to help Arkansas Children's Hospital.
Halftime, Phil Elson, Matt Jones coming up next.
Now for a limited time, employee pricing is back at the #1 fifth wheel dealer in Arkansas, Wheels RV. That's right, employee pricing is back, and you pay